Holy cow. Did not expect that to happen today. All comments. Oh, hey, hey, hey. That was. Well, let's blame it up. No, this was not a YouTube issue, I don't believe. This was a Greg's computer issue, which I've never really experienced this. This everything was super stuttery, etc. The machine had been restarted. I'd made some space. You got to have enough disk space available for the software. So I had done all that, but it's obviously better now. And if I go here, it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, yeah. All right, so I want to go here, here, here. And I want to go here. So I have this on my monitor. So I can look at the camera for the most part. Okay, so the challenge, let's see. The challenge on this play is whether or not this is a try for goal. We know that a player who dribbles the ball to the basket, throws the ball against the backboard, catches the ball, dunks, which this girl didn't do. We know that that's considered to be a try for goal because they threw it towards their basket. So you could certainly make that contention on this play. My brain says that's not the case here. This is an inadvertent, like a cross-court pass. Let's say the player was in the front court and threw a cross-court pass, a skip pass that contacted the ring. Yeah. I don't know. I'm open to interpretation on this. My brain says backcourt violation. You could also say, could you also say this player has an illegal dribble because they threw it, they terminated their dribble and ended up catching their self pass? Windows. Oh. I know my personal memory is maxed out. I'll tell you that. You know what? I'm going to leave it as it is. My brain, and we're going to have another play where my brain says, I don't know how to process this play. That maybe it's more than it seems. So we're moving on. Next play. Oh, yoy.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
All right, our calling official is all over the play. Is this a backcourt ruling? Yeah, yeah, it is. And there's obviously elements of this play which it's great to see in the wild so that we know how to do things properly. Not that it's a huge deal, but this is a team that has caused the ball to gain backcourt status, and once get backcourt status was gained, was then the first to touch. This is a backcourt violation by rule, assuming that Black 22 didn't deflect the ball backcourt. But where's the resulting throw-in? We know that all backcourt violations go to the spot in the front court nearest the violation, but there's a little asterisk on that, and that is this play. That's why it's great to see in the wild. Since the illegal touching, as it were, was in the team's front court, which is the only of the backcourt violation possibilities where this could occur, the touching is in the front court, the resulting throw-in for the opponent is in the backcourt. So that's why this play is great to see. We also see our old lead, new trail, right, has a question for the calling official, right? Something doesn't seem right to them. Just want to verify. Maybe we ask a question. Hey, front court status, back court status, right? I didn't see, whatever. Just to slow the official down, make sure we have a proper ruling on a play like this. So often we just go with the flow, man. My partner made a call, right? So just by instinct, if you have a question, ask the question, right? Calling official says, no, this is what happened, da-da-da, we move on. Easy peasy. So great to see this play in the wild. It is the one instance where a backcourt violation does not result in a front court throw-in for the opponent. Oy, oy, oy. We're back in the flow. Holy cow. I don't know where we are. When you do two backcourt plays back to back, I don't know which one we're commenting on. But Mike, was the previous play a throw to the basket or simply a throw that contacted the basket? That is the differentiator. This is not a player who goes to the basket, the common scenario. What do you mean?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Hey, ref, no doubt, right? When a play befuddles you, right? One of the key things you can learn as a young official is this is illegal, then put a whistle on it. Are you not sure it's illegal? Don't put a whistle on it. Don't do it. Does it, Adam? Does it, Randy? Does it? Perfect. No, not correct. Okay, now we're... I don't know about that. Yes. Well, that's why we show the play, man. That's why we're showing the play. Good morning, Kamali. We are talking throw-in spots. Yeah. So when the 4 spots rule was brought in last season, language was added to the backcourt violation, saying a backcourt violation results in a front court throw-in. And then some smart ass said, hey, wait a minute. And so NFHS came out with a clarification that this one backcourt play, results in a backcourt throw-in for the opponent. No, they haven't. They did, and then they didn't. That's my understanding. You know, it's a case play that I often refer to. I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to see the play. Mike, are you saying that this has been re-clarified that this should be a front court throw-in? You know, I think I would vote yes for that as well. Chilly in Mount Pleasant. I hope my wee grandson Charlie's bundled up in his little down parka. Good morning, Grace Austin. Hello, good to see you. What? They re-clarified that this should be a front court throw-in? Is that what you're saying, Mike? Then I'm gonna have to re-record. I'm gonna have to re-record both plays. Hmm. Okay. All right. I'm gonna. Hmm. I'm gonna have to stand corrected on that if Mike is correct. Always risky challenging Mike Connors about a rules interpretation. Always risky. All right. No, obviously this play is the exception. The backcourt violation is not the ball contacting the backcourt. The backcourt violation is the player with front court status contacting the ball. That is where the violation occurs. That is my understanding. Okay. I'm glad you have a question mark. Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go here. Here. Yes, you step on the division line, which is in the backcourt. You have committed a backcourt violation. You are in the backcourt when you commit the violation by stepping in the backcourt. Oh, well, okay. All right. All righty. Next play. All right. Caveat. My mind is beat up on this play. Let's take a look. Okay. On this play, we have a player who receives the basketball, elevates to attempt a try for goal, for some reason changes their mind, and does what? What do they do on this play? Do they initiate a dribble? You cannot lift your pivot foot and dribble the basketball. Does this player dribble the basketball? This is a conundrum for me, right? If this player elevates and simply releases the basketball and doesn't touch the basketball, have they committed a violation? If this player elevates, as they do on this play, realizes I've got a defender here, and releases the ball in some fashion where they're pushing the ball to the floor, when the ball hits the floor, has a violation occurred, or does something else have to happen on this play? First of all, our lead official needs to get out of the way here on this play. Right, we notice with the player's left hand, it kind of flicks the ball down. Is this the initiation of a dribble on this play? I think it is. I think it is. And when they subsequently contact the ball, violation. My brain says that's the thing, even though they never actually continue the dribble. They are a player in control who, by flicking the ball to the floor, has begun a dribble. But if they did that simply in a vacuum and never touched the ball again, and a teammate came and got the ball, would a violation have occurred? I'm still mystified by this play. My brain can't process it. It can't process the play. What do you have on this play? Put your ruling in the comments below. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Every time I see it, because if a player elevates and simply releases the basketball, have they committed a violation? The ball bounces on the floor. Have they committed a violation? No. It's not until something else happens. Does the something else happen have to be simply touching the basketball? Touched. Yes, they touched the basketball. Yeah, the fact that we end up with a 3-point goal afterward, really, our coach on the sideline, our pleading coach on the sideline. Okay, so the player dribbled the basketball. Yes? I know it's easy to see the play and say travel. My brain is trying to understand, did this player dribble the basketball? What constitutes a dribble in this situation? And I know that I'm picking nits. I'm like being super specific. Everybody knows this is a violation. Just put a whistle on it. When he contacts it again, oh, that's awesome. So it's the touching, similar to if a player, the sort of the self-pass question, dribble, throw the ball to a teammate. Teammate doesn't see it. Dribbler goes after the basketball. Once they touch the basketball, like if they had batted it, let's say, to a teammate, that would constitute a second dribble, the passing, and then the touch. The touch is what makes it a dribble. I'm having trouble with it. But I'm not going to fight the battle, man. I mean, you look at the play, it's like that's a travel. But my brain is like fighting for, and it's also it's a purity play, which is to be avoided, right? Where I'm going to be super granular with the rules for my purposes and not for the game's purposes. So I don't know what the official was thinking. Obviously, he was looking right at it on this play, but that is what it is. I still my that's what slowed the lead down. No. Right, right. So this player, when he elevates, not to beat a dead horse, this player when he elevates sees the defender, and then with his left hand he flicks the ball in a downward motion. When the ball contacts the floor, has a violation occurred in this instance? At that moment when it contacts, or is it not until the subsequent touch? And what changes between flicking the ball to the floor with his left hand and actually touching the basketball? That's where my brain is addled, is disconnected from the play. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Maybe I have a better understanding of this play. Let's take a look. All right. We have a block charge, no call on this play. Did this play need a whistle? Ultimately, our airborne shooter is injured on the play, and the team has to use a take foul to stop the clock. I guess the key part of this play is, does this play need a whistle, right? When defenders attempt to take a charge, right, they are investing in attempting to take a charge. In this instance, right, which in this play I would deem this a block, right? The player moves his shoulder into the airborne player. He's attempting to. This play needs a whistle. It just needs a whistle, man. It's just business. And who could put a whistle on this play, right? You could say this is the lead's primary coverage area, or you could say it came from the center's official, or you could say as the trail, you're here to mop up on your crew. That's a play that needs a whistle. Put a whistle on the play, right? Us putting a whistle on the play doesn't prevent the player from getting injured, right? But this is the kind of play, in my judgment, that we just need to put a whistle on, right? Make your best judgment on the play, but it's a play that needs a whistle, right? Also, we can't, on the plays that need a whistle, we can't be constrained by any sort of concept of that's not my primary. If it needs a whistle, we've agreed to put whistles on plays that need whistles as a crew. Come get it. Make your best judgment on the play. And yeah, put a whistle on it. Put a whistle on it. Okay. I'm leaving that one alone. Adam's got player control. Charge, charge. You know, yeah, right. So agree with Greg. Other people have a block. The play needs a whistle. That's the most important thing, right? And if we don't put whistle on these plays and players come up injured as a result and they have to use a take, I like the fact that the player was smart enough. Hey, I've got an injured teammate. I'm going to use a take foul. I like that. That I don't see that as coming from the coach. That was pretty heady play, but yeah, yeah, especially from trail, right? When you're, it's like this is not my play, right? And this is a great habit and fundamental. You're working as a crew. I trust my crew. I trust them. But this play needs a whistle, and you guys don't have a whistle. I am going to come put a whistle on the play. It's like sort of like the yeah. All right. This is not a flop, right? He tries to take the charge. He sees the player airborne. I need to get a little wider, and he turns the shoulder in to catch the player, right? But this player was displaced by the contact. That is not in question. Okay, yeah, that's it helps. The slow mo helps, and one of the reasons why I always put slow motion. We don't officiate in slow motion is to see what exactly happened on the play. Right? It's easy to see a play that's at full speed, and we make a judgment. We have to make a judgment about the play, but there's something about the play that we wouldn't have picked up, right? And so when we see it in slow motion, it gives us a chance. Perfect. Perfect. 50-50. Great. Great. Put a whistle on it. And you're going to put a whistle on it based on the information that you have, right? If I'm trail on this play and my partners don't have a whistle and I'm committed to putting whistles on plays that need whistles, I'm going to come in. Do I have an open look on the play? No. No, I do not. What do I see? I see a defender who comes over. It seems like they're in position based on my view, right? Yeah, yeah, yep. Definitely true. Now that's what this show needs, Billy. We need the old school references. The kids are like, what the hell is that all about? Uh, oh, flop on the offensive player? Oh, no, no. Glada. Yes, yes, that would be turning in situ, not turning in an effort to, this player does not turn to protect himself. This player turns to try to catch the offensive player, shifting their torso into their path. Fair enough. I mean, we're going to disagree. We're going to have opinions about the play, right? The point of the clip is needs a whistle. Ah, it's just business. I love it. I love it. Fair enough. Fair enough. Your judgment on the play, just put a whistle on the play, man. Right? This would be a good one after the fact to discuss. And the fact that it's 50-50, right? That's the other thing on the play. It's a 50-50 play. So I'm not going to put a whistle? No. 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 Oh, okay. 8:04. All right, we're grooving. We're grooving. And we're moving. Moving on.
And I don't know who's going to cut to the basket for a little tip here, but Bashir. And I don't know who's going to cut to the basket for a little tip here, but Bashir.
All right, a great play with .2 on the clock. Inbounds play under the team's basket, tied score, right? So we could talk first of all, what's your mindset in this situation, right? We know what we're looking for. Everybody knows what we're looking for. This player cannot catch and shoot, right? We also know as a crew who is the likely shooter in this scenario, right? Teams will favor a shooter, their best player, etc., the one who can elevate the highest, etc., right? So we're very aware of this off-ball action. We have very aggressive hand fighting between the two defenders. Screening action, which we could discuss the legality of the screening action on the play. In an effort to get around the screen, our defender grabs the opponent by the head, flings them to the floor right here. Clock starts early, assuming that the bug on the screen. A lot of things on this play. If we look at the habits and fundamentals, looks like our trail official is super focused on the throw-in and not the play in front of them. Just a really interesting scenario here. We've got to be aware of this hand fighting on defense. That screening action has to be the centers. The action by the defender with the head contact. This is a collegiate game, I believe. So, as a result, possibly the ability to go to the monitor. I don't know NCAA men's rules. Obviously, at the high school level, we are not going to have that luxury, right? So, being super aware of the clock in this situation and chopping the clock is not, I don't think it's our highest priority, right? We know what's going to happen on this play. There's only one thing that can happen. They're either going to tap the ball for goal or the ball is going to be touched and the period will be over at that point, but touched by a defender, caught by a player, etc., right? So in the absence of that, being so focused on chopping correctly, not such a big deal at the high school level, I wouldn't think. We have to officiate the play. This seems like an unofficiated play. Yeah. A great get here would be illegal screen, right? Screening a moving opponent, right? We put that whistle on the play. There's team control, so it's a team. There's no free throws result. The opponent gets the ball at .2, and we're going to overtime, right? That would be a great solution on this play. But this is a good play to see and how we can have, even in the most, it's all intimate. It's right in front of us as a crew, and yet there's unofficiated action on the play. Yeah. That is an interesting play. I like that ref. I think coming up with an illegal screen on this play would be a great just like we see the whole play occur. We see the whole play occur. The ball's in, maybe the throw-in pass, right? We're doing some processing in the moment, right? We need to know the impact of our whistle. In end-of-game situations, the impact of our whistle, right? Is this hand check, which has no impact on the play, which may have been a cleanup foul in the first 2 minutes of the game? Are we going to rule a hand check foul when both teams are in the bonus and the result of the free throw? You got to make your own judgment about that, but you have to know the impact of your whistle, not just I'm here. Oh, I see something. Oh, blow my whistle, right? The screening action would be a great get. It would be a great get. Not what happened on this play, but always a good question. Yeah. I think that would have been the best solution on the play, right? And so once that foul occurs, then the subsequent foul, even though it's much more severe, I suppose NCAA man with a monitor, you could upgrade that as dead ball contact, or I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. The clock did start early, and of course, being aware of that, those are the decisions we need to make. I don't think he threw an elbow, right? I think that our defender, let's take a look. Our defender is trying to get over the screen to stay with the, right? That's pretty egregious. But he doesn't elbow him in the head. He gets his head, arm around and leverages him to the floor so he can get around. And it looks like he's a very handsy defender to begin with, right? So it's like, some players, they're a hammer and everything they see is a nail. They use their force in all instances. Well, what if he had tipped it in, though, Mark? And you say, the illegal screen allowed the player to get in position to do that. And that may have been the mindset of the officials on the play. It's just like, I'm not calling anything here. We are going to overtime, almost certainly. And if they do something exceptional and tip the ball in, etc. But if we rule the team control foul, we're essentially sending the game to overtime as well. Unless they do the play that's coming up next. You can ignore. No, this is not a double foul. Well, the point of interruption though would be the throw in. Yeah. Okay. That's a creative use. I guess my brain says it's not a double foul because there are two separate actions, even though they do occur close together almost immediately upon the two things. My brain doesn't say double foul here. That's interesting how that's the case. That my brain doesn't think that way. I don't know. Okay. All right. So, yeah, next play, another last second play. Okay, it is end of season, right? We are in playoff games. We are going to have end of game situations, and this type of play, is the hallmark of a team that is trailing, has to go the length of the court. This is very appropriate for high school, and has a coach who saw that video on YouTube or TikTok or whatever and designs this play, and the players don't execute it well, right? The attempt here is by the throwing team to draw a foul on a defender by setting a screen on a throw-in pass where they can move along the end line. The thrower starts at one sideline, moves to the other. The defender, trying to put pressure on the throw-in, does not see this little small defender sneak into their path and attempt to take a foul by being displaced. But of course, what occurs on this play is not a foul on the defense. This is an illegal screen, right? We are screening a moving opponent. We must give them time and distance. So the key thing on plays like this is to be aware that it's a possibility, right? If we have a team that's down, especially at the high school level, they can't advance the ball, all right? They have an end line throw in with 1 second or a half a second, or in this instance, 2.5 seconds. They have to go to the length of the court and shoot, so they may try to draw this foul. They're in the bonus. They'll get 2 free throws, chance to win the game, right? So if we're aware of these situations, we're so much better prepared to adjudicate them. If they just come out of nowhere, we may be surprised by it, right? This is an illegal screen by rule. Our crew says, we're not putting a whistle on that, right? We're going to, again, in end of game situations, we want to call obvious things that are impactful to the play. We want the play to unfold. We want a great ending to the play, etc. But this is a pretty egregious foul on the screen here. Yeah. So, being aware is the main component of a play like this. This is what we're talking about during the timeout that precedes this throw-in. Also, one great thing to do here is look at the administering official on this play. Habits and fundamentals. Allowing the moment to breathe. Allowing everybody to be ready to play, right? This is a big moment in the game. Indicating multiple times you can move. Saying to our defender, hands back, right? Preventative officiating here. Says to our defender, hands back, right? He moves him back. He doesn't have to move him back. He has enough space, right? Yeah. And then we got a tough out of bounds call. Probably going to the monitor, man. So a great play to be prepared for as we approach some critical game, end of game situation. Being ready as a crew. Boo, ready as a crew. Yes, Tom. Yes, they should. Right? Well, what are we talking about in this situation? We're talking about clock starting properly, right? Timeouts remaining. Both teams are in double bonus. It says foul 0. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether we were in overtime or what. Right? And what we're talking about is we're going to call only obvious things. Super obvious, right? We don't want to insert ourselves with something that isn't appropriate for the situation. You could say on this play, well, number 4, White, could not defend the throw-in pass due to the illegal contact. Yeah. T and D, yes. Oh, nice shorthand. I like that. Legs wider than the frame. What the hell? That does not apply. That's not a factor. That is not a thing, right? It's been clarified by NFHS, right? A player can have their legs completely splayed if the torso contact, it is not an illegal screen. Yeah. Hey. You know, positioning, let's take a look. What do we expect to have happen on the play? What do we need? Now, 2.4 is a lot of time, right? They could throw the ball in the backcourt. Player could get off a shot. They could throw the ball to the division line. Player could easily, and a pass could be made, and a player could get off a shot, right? We're officiating. The center, I think, is perfectly positioned on the play, right? He's got 2 competitive matchups off ball, 3 competitive matchups off ball. Center stays right with it, man. They're just committed to that's not a foul. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Rona. That must be reference to the previous play. All right. All right. We didn't do the fight play. One more play. Yeah, I'm on time. All right, a really straightforward foul during a 3-point shot. I've included this play as an effort to talk to young officials. You're a young official, right? Look at the elements of our crew and our calling official on the play. Focus on these things, right? Body position, demeanor, certainty, confidence, strength, and knowing what happens next. This is like a choreographed event. How can this be a choreographed event, right? Everything we do has a purpose. We do things at the spot of the foul. We do things when we report, right? Notice the timing of the crew. By the time the official finishes reporting, they end up in the spot that they want to end up to do the next thing, which is the free throws or the free throw that results, etc. As a young official, right, we want to know the rules and we want to make great calls and we want to do all these things. But if we come off as super confident, strong, assured, etc., we are ahead of the game. We are put in a position where we can more focus on the things we need to focus on. We're put ourselves in a position to feel confident on the court, right? So as we approach the off season, this is a great play to look at and say, I want to be able to do all of these things. I want to have that strength and confidence. How can I do that, right? You can fake it till you make it, right? And the mechanics involved, the signaling involved, is something that you could practice, right? So that's why I wanted to include this play, right? Also, note the play itself. Note the action, the way the team is running their offense. This is tremendous opportunity to really focus on our discipline as officials. This is great primary coverage area action. Who is officiating what? Am I wandering? Am I looking at the ball when I should be looking? There's so much off-ball action, screening action, etc. This is a great opportunity when you have this action to really focus on my primary coverage area, right? Something funky with the dribbler there. Was it obvious? No. Also note, why does our player go so hard to the floor, right? Because the defender landed on his foot. When players get their foot landed on, they are going to fall to the floor. That's just an obvious thing, right? Right. And notice the timing of our crew, right? Everything's ready. Officials reporting. They move into position. We are administering the throw-in, right? It's a dance that we do as officials. Really focus on doing those things, and your presence on the court is much stronger. So as we head to the off season and you are a young official, really focus on your confidence, demeanor, the way that you present yourself on the court, and know all of the dance steps so that you end up in a great position for what happens next. Well, what happens next here is I'm going to say thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Much appreciated. Special shout out to our show supporters. Much appreciated. Much love. Yes. Yes. We have additional video content for you. Take advantage of that. We will see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody. Ay, 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 I got it in. I got it in with 3 minutes to spare. Love it, Brett. I love it. Let's go here. I think my sound has probably been pretty good. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. So Chris, submits this play. It's like he gets all his flowers. He gets all his flowers. Or did it ever, Billy? Did it ever? It was something funny. I mean, so what happens is the timing of the action makes our brain say, hey, wait a minute, right? Sort of brought it up. Did his hand stay below? It was like something, the timing was unusual. And our brain takes notice, but discipline, I don't know that he carried. On this, let's see. I got slow motion. Hand on. Handshake. I don't know. I'm not guessing on that. Yeah. How about Nate Archibald? Okay, now Zooch, this was like something that I screwed up. I thought that you go 3 seconds with the score, but somebody said there's only score the goal is only a 2. That is the signal, and that subsequent to that you make a signal. So I think that's still correct. Score the goal is the 2 fingers extended. That's my understanding because I thought something different and was corrected. Thank you, Jerry. I mean, the call was, this is not rocket science. This player was displaced. But I think if his foot hadn't been pinned, it might be a situation where we are going to make a judgment. But our defender sells out, and he's flying. If he hadn't pinned his foot, I think we could have. The player was naturally after shooting was backing up. It could have been a no call situation. Yeah, we're also just starting the game here. I appreciate that, Lorenzo. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, come on, Rick. We're wrapping up here. We're wrapping up. I agree with Jerry that was illegal, but the timing is unusual. The timing was a blip. It's like timing, and our brain says, hey, wait a minute. And coaches and fans, like opponents, hey, whoa, like it's a trigger. Going multiple. That is my understanding, I think, Jared. Okay, I have made it out in a timely fashion. Again, I'm flying solo here. I got stuff to do. I got to get out the door. I hope everyone with playoff games does the right thing for their game. That's all we can do, man. And I hope you have a great game. I was really fortunate for a run of NorCal games, which are, all right, it's first round NorCal. You got 1 versus 16. Not going to be a great game. Not going to be a great game. I mean, maybe a miracle happens, but no. But if you've got that 7-8 game, or 8-9 game, rather, then, yeah, you can have some good stuff. And, again, we love when I can bring my full palette. And like an artist, I have a full palette that I can bring to the game. And do all of the things, right? That's what we're looking for, man. Habits and fundamentals and the ability to apply them, rules, knowledge, and understanding, the ability to apply that knowledge to the game in an intelligent fashion, game management skills that we can apply to the game to handle it, keep it on the straight and narrow, keep it on the rails, allow the players to compete, do all of the things. Sometimes there is some artistry in that. Sometimes it's just meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. I promise. I'll have it together for next week. We're going to have some great plays. I have some plays that I didn't include here, and we'll look at them then. Take care.